Jack Perry, the former Jungle Boy.
Yep.
He apparently asked for his release from AEW after the Brawl In or Brawl Out or whatever you call it. The Wembley show last year with CM Punk, you know what I'm saying. So, this is from The Observer. Jack Perry has disputed claims that he continually apologised or asked for forgiveness in the months following the backstage fight with CM Punk at last August AEW All-In show, or that there are any current plans for an AEW return. According to Perry, he didn't hear from AEW head Tony Khan for 2 months following All-In London's Wembley Stadium show. Perry said he never texted to say he was sorry and told Khan's lawyers he would not initiate first contact. Khan finally set up an in-person meeting before Full Gear in Los Angeles where they discussed plans to bring him back last December. However, after Punk returned at WWE at Survivor Series, those plans were scrapped. Perry, who had wanted to work Wrestle Kingdom, I think that was early January, but was unable for logistical reasons, then worked with Rocky Romero and Khan to set up his current New Japan run. At this point, Perry is still under AEW contract. He asked for a release but was denied. But there are still no plans to bring him back to AEW. He hasn't talked to Khan in months, not cleared anything he has done in storyline for New Japan, like him tearing up the AEW contract or using the term scapegoat. So what the heck is going on here? Why is Tony Khan even paying this dude at this point?
Well, I don't know. If I wasn't using him, I don't know what kind of contract he's on.
A good one.
But I think him running his mouth like this is not a very good plan of action. You know, Tony's going to read this somewhere. I did not call him to even apologize. See, it looks like Perry is trying to make it out like, well, he don't give a crap about Khan because Khan didn't give a crap about him. So that's not a very way to kind of soothe whatever wounds that are left from this. I don't think Tony gives a crap whether he works there or not. But and the internet has a way of turning things around. I don't know how you could turn this around. Either he said it, so, but I think Mr. Perry needs to kind of temper his tongue. I've said that for a lot of guys. See, now I can say things I used to couldn't say because this guy's going to get mad. This guy's going to get mad. So to dodge that, I just wouldn't say anything. But now I don't give a crap. But what I say is, you know, it's not too bad anyway. But I would give a little advice from an experienced hand, me, is just keep your mouth shut. Don't say nothing bad about them. Put them over and say, oh, it was great there and this, that, and the other. Now, Pete thinks that's like, you know, kind of kissing up to him. Then don't do it. Don't say nothing. Just say it's in the past and we'll let it lay there. Best thing you can do. I think that is the best thing to do now because now people are dying to know what really happened. And they could actually take that back on AEW TV and actually do something with it. So here's a guy who's fighting the power, so to speak. And then he gets some people and let's see where it goes.
Why is Tony Khan so upset with Jack Perry? Because
I don't know.
Do you think, right, okay, so let's very briefly run through the story of there was some incident involving glass and Jack Perry wanted to use glass and then CM Punk put the kibosh on it, even though the glass use was, I imagine, from an agent approved.
No.
And then
CM Punk was there.
Yeah.
And I think CM Punk, to his defense, wanted to tell them whose idea was this. That's real glass. You can get hurt going through that glass. And from what I've heard, I don't know what the hell went on, but they didn't ixnay it. So he used it, but he turned around and he did I think Punk, maybe this was when Punk was the booker. I think he told him not to do it. And he went out there and did it anyway.
Well, because I'm not sure Punk was ever an official booker, but he seemed to have an awful lot of sway when he was like almost like the head of the AEW.
Well, they got a whole show because of him.
Yeah. But then with the Wembley Stadium show, Jack Perry and Hook were in the opener, or one of the openers. And then I can't remember who. I think Jack Perry puts Hook through the windshield, the windscreen of a car that was parked in the thing. And then Jack Perry looks into his camera and says, "Cry me a river, it's real glass," or whatever. But here's the thing. It's like, obviously someone else had approved that, that spot to be used with the car windscreen.
Maybe not.
No?
Hey, from what I'm reading about AEW talent, and I don't know if it's like this now, but they wouldn't take advice from the veterans.
Some
thinking that
I've been told otherwise. It's the same as everywhere else. It's like some do, some don't. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's right. And Perry was apparently of the mind of, I'm not listening to those guys. I'm going to do what I want to do. And one way that wrestling teaches you not to do what you want to do is they just stop using you. They just stop booking you. Now, in his case, if he had a contract, the question is, did they keep paying him while they suspended him or whatever happened? He was working for another company. So is he still getting his AEW check too?
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah. Still under AEW contracts. I doubt they've suspended him for this long and not paid him. But this is what I wanted to ask you. Do you think that Tony Khan...
But you think Tony Khan would pay somebody that they're not using?
Wouldn't you believe it? Do you think he'd do that?
I don't know.
Well, he's done it with about 100 talent already. He pays about 100 and doesn't use them. Or barely uses them. Do you think that Tony Khan's just upset with Jack Perry because ultimately Jack Perry was one of the reasons that has cost AEW CM Punk?
No, I got a theory on that too. I think Punk wanted to leave anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I think he wanted to get fired. I think he wanted to go to WWE. And we're seeing now that they're using him in a good way. So apparently he wanted to put all his bad feelings behind him. He wanted to move on from AEW to the WWE, which is, if you just look at CM Punk, WWE is the major leagues, not AEW. I think he wanted to get fired. That's my theory. And it's like everything else, like a little anus. Everybody has one, so that's mine.
What's next for... Well, because they've already dumped him in the House of Torture in New Japan. And keep in mind, the Wrestling Observer fan base, who for the most part loves Japanese wrestling, has voted House of Torture the worst faction of the year. So they must be really bad. And so anyway, Jack Perry is basically dumped in with a bunch of bums.
What do they call now. The House of what?
The House of Torture. And all they do is just interfere in all the matches, and it's not really what Japanese wrestling was built upon.
No. Well, Perry, is he the son of the guy that was on what TV show
Luke,
was it?
90210.
Yeah. So I don't know. He's going to have to fight his own battles. He's on his own now. So